The first time people hear the phrase smart glasses, most of them imagine cameras, social sharing, and futuristic tricks. But the reason smart glasses are suddenly part of everyday conversations has much more to do with comfort and routine than with spectacle. When you actually wear these devices day after day, practicality matters more than anything else. And that's where the difference between Xiaomi Smart Glasses and Meta Ray-Ban becomes interesting. Right from the start, what pulls people in is not a flashy demo, but the simple question of whether these glasses feel natural enough to wear outside, to commute in, or to keep on your face for hours without thinking about them. Xiaomi's approach to smart glasses focuses heavily on that daily comfort layer, and you feel it immediately when you put them on. The design looks close to a normal pair of glasses, with frames that don't scream tech product, and that subtlety plays a big role in how practical they feel in real life. You can walk into a store, sit in a cafe, or stand in public transport without feeling like you're wearing something experimental. That sense of blending in is one of the reasons people describe them as more usable, not because they do more, but because they interfere less with normal routines. When you compare that experience to Meta Ray-Ban smart glasses, the contrast becomes clearer. Meta Ray-Ban models are designed around the idea of capturing moments and sharing them. And while that works well for certain users, it also introduces social friction. A visible camera changes how people around you react, even if the device is used responsibly. Xiaomi Smart Glasses, particularly their audio-focused models, remove that tension entirely by not including a camera. In daily life, that means fewer raised eyebrows and fewer questions about privacy. You can wear them for phone calls, music, or navigation prompts without drawing attention, which is exactly what many users want from wearable tech. The practicality here comes from what is not included just as much as from what is. By focusing on audio and connectivity instead of visual recording, Xiaomi positions these glasses as an extension of headphones rather than a wearable camera. Another area where practicality shows up quickly is weight and balance. Xiaomi Smart Glasses are designed to distribute weight evenly along the frame, so they don't feel front-heavy or awkward after long periods. In everyday use, that matters more than specs on a page. When you're commuting, walking, or working at a desk, you don't want constant pressure on your nose or ears. Xiaomi's frames feel closer to traditional eyewear, and that makes it easier to forget you're wearing smart glasses at all. Meta Ray-Ban glasses, while stylish, have to accommodate cameras and additional hardware, and that can change how they feel over time. Some users don't mind that trade-off, but others notice it after an hour or two, especially if they're not actively using the camera features. Audio performance is another practical difference that shows up in real life. Xiaomi Smart Glasses use open-ear audio, allowing you to hear calls, music, and notifications while still staying aware of your surroundings. This makes them particularly suitable for walking outdoors, cycling, or working in environments where awareness matters. You don't need to insert earbuds or block outside sound, and that simple convenience makes a big difference in daily routines. Meta Ray-Ban glasses also offer open-ear audio, but their focus on multimedia content means users often approach them differently, treating them more like a gadget for specific moments rather than something to wear all day. Xiaomi's positioning feels more like a replacement for everyday wireless earbuds, and that's why many people describe them as more practical rather than more exciting. Phone connectivity plays a role here as well. Xiaomi Smart Glasses connect directly to your smartphone for calls, music, and basic controls, using familiar gestures or touch inputs on the frame. There's very little learning curve. You don't need to think about when to use them or how to activate features. They simply behave like an always-ready audio device. In daily life, simplicity often beats versatility. Meta Ray-Ban glasses integrate tightly with smartphone apps and social platforms, which can be powerful, but it also means there's more setup and more intentional usage involved. For someone who just wants hands-free audio throughout the day, Xiaomi's approach feels lighter and more straightforward. Battery behavior is another practical concern that rarely gets enough attention. Xiaomi Smart Glasses are designed around typical daily usage patterns, meaning calls, short music sessions, and standby time rather than continuous recording or streaming. This aligns well with how most people actually use wearable audio devices. You put them on in the morning, use them intermittently, and charge them later without stress. Meta Ray-Ban glasses, because they support camera usage and media capture, often encourage more battery-intensive behavior, which can change how users plan their day. That difference doesn't make one product better overall, but it does explain why Xiaomi's glasses often feel easier to live with. Comfort also extends to temperature and long-term wear. Xiaomi's frames are designed to stay comfortable during extended use, without noticeable heat buildup around the temples. That matters when you're wearing them indoors, outdoors, or while moving between environments. The goal feels less like showcasing technology and more like disappearing into your routine. Meta Ray-Ban glasses, by contrast, sometimes feel like something you put on with a purpose, whether that's recording, capturing photos, or creating content. Xiaomi Smart Glasses feel more like something you put on and forget about. And that difference shapes the entire daily experience. What makes this comparison interesting is that it's not really about which product is more advanced, but which one fits more naturally into everyday life. Xiaomi's choice to prioritize audio, comfort, and low-key design over cameras and visual features leads to a different kind of smart glasses experience. It's less about moments and more about hours. Less about showing what you're doing, and more about supporting what you're already doing. That's why, for many users, Xiaomi Smart Glasses feel more practical than Meta Ray-Ban in daily life. Not because they replace everything, but because they quietly fit into almost everything you already do. As you spend more time with Xiaomi Smart Glasses, the idea of practicality becomes less about first impressions and more about how seamlessly they adapt to small, repeated moments throughout the day. One of the biggest reasons people start appreciating them is how naturally they fit into daily communication. Taking a phone call doesn't feel like a special action. You don't reach for your phone, you don't adjust earbuds, and you don't worry about wires or cases. The glasses are already there, resting the same way a normal pair of glasses would. When a call comes in, audio is clear enough for conversation. And because the sound is open ear, you stay aware of your surroundings. This makes them especially useful in situations like walking through a busy street, working around other people, or even staying at home while multitasking. The glasses support hands-free calls in a way that feels closer to natural speech than to traditional headphones. And that simplicity is what keeps them on your face instead of in a drawer. Daily usability also shows up in how Xiaomi handles controls. Touch-sensitive areas on the frame allow basic interactions like answering calls or controlling audio without looking at your phone. This kind of control doesn't try to replace your phone or overwhelm you with options. It stays focused on what you actually need in the moment. In real life, people rarely want complex menus on their face. They want fast, predictable responses. Xiaomi Smart Glasses deliver that by keeping interactions minimal and consistent. Meta Ray-Ban glasses, on the other hand, often invite more intentional interaction, especially when camera features are involved. That difference shapes how often people reach for the glasses. Xiaomi's approach makes them something you rely on continuously, rather than something you activate occasionally. Another practical factor that becomes clear over time is how Xiaomi Smart Glasses handle social situations. Because they don't include a camera, there's no visible signal that you're recording or capturing anything. This reduces social discomfort, especially in shared spaces like offices, public transport, or family gatherings. People around you treat the glasses as normal eyewear, which removes a layer of explanation and concern. With Meta Ray-Ban glasses, even though recording indicators exist, the presence of a camera still changes how people perceive the device. Some users are comfortable with that, but others find it limiting in everyday interactions. Xiaomi Smart Glasses avoid that issue entirely, which is one of the main reasons they feel more practical in routine life. Listening to audio throughout the day highlights another subtle advantage. Open-ear audio allows notifications, navigation prompts, or short music sessions without isolating you from the world. This makes the glasses useful not just for entertainment, but for functional tasks like commuting or light exercise. You don't need to constantly take them off or adjust them when someone speaks to you. Conversations flow naturally, and the glasses fade into the background. Meta Ray-Ban glasses also support open-ear audio, but because they are often associated with content creation, users sometimes approach them with a different mindset. Xiaomi Smart Glasses feel more like a passive companion than an active device demanding attention. Connectivity stability is another area where daily practicality matters. Xiaomi Smart Glasses maintain a steady connection with your smartphone. allowing smooth transitions between calls, music, and idle time. You don't need to constantly check whether they're connected or ready. That reliability builds trust over time. In daily use, trust is more important than novelty. Once you know a device will work without fuss, you're more likely to keep using it. Meta Ray-Ban glasses also connect reliably, but again, the difference lies in how often you feel the need to engage deeply with their features. Xiaomi's glasses are content with doing fewer things consistently well. Battery management becomes part of this story too. Because Xiaomi Smart Glasses are designed around audio and communication rather than media capture, battery usage aligns more closely with typical daily habits. You use them intermittently and they hold up through normal routines without constant concern. Charging them feels similar to charging wireless earbuds, something already familiar to most users. Meta Ray-Ban glasses with camera functionality encourage usage patterns that can drain battery faster, which can make users more conscious of power levels. That awareness subtly changes how freely people use the device during the day. Comfort during long wear continues to reinforce the idea of practicality. Xiaomi Smart Glasses are meant to stay on your face for extended periods, whether you're working, walking, or relaxing. The materials and weight distribution reduce fatigue, making them feel closer to standard eyewear than to a gadget. This matters most after several hours, when even small discomforts become noticeable. Meta Ray-Ban glasses balance style and technology, but the added hardware can sometimes remind you that you're wearing something more than just glasses. Xiaomi's lighter, simpler design reduces that reminder. What stands out in this real world? Comparison is how Xiaomi Smart Glasses prioritize consistency over excitement. They don't ask you to change your habits. They adapt to the habits you already have. Calls, short audio sessions, notifications, and passive wear all fit neatly into everyday life. Meta Ray-Ban glasses offer a different value centered more on capturing and sharing moments. For users who want that, they make sense. But for users who want something that quietly supports their day from morning to evening, Xiaomi Smart Glasses often feel more practical, not because they do everything, but because they do the everyday things without getting in the way. By the time you reach the end of a full day wearing Xiaomi Smart Glasses, the biggest takeaway isn't any single feature, but how little effort it takes to live with them. That's where the feeling of practicality really settles in. You don't think about when to use them, because they're already part of what you're wearing. They don't require a mindset shift or a deliberate moment to justify putting them on. They simply stay on your face, doing small useful things when needed and staying quiet when not. That kind of relationship with a device is rare, especially in wearable tech, where many products still feel experimental or situational. One of the most noticeable daily life advantages shows up in how people use their phones less without even trying to. With Xiaomi Smart Glasses handling calls and audio, the phone naturally stays in your pocket more often. You're not unlocking the screen just to see who's calling or pausing what you're doing to answer. This doesn't dramatically change your workflow, but it smooths it out. Over time, those small interruptions add up, and the glasses quietly reduce them. This is different from how Meta Ray-Ban glasses are typically used. Because of the camera and media features, the phone often becomes a companion device for reviewing or managing content. Xiaomi Smart Glasses don't pull you into that loop, which keeps attention focused on the real world. Another point that reinforces practicality is how Xiaomi positions these glasses as an extension of audio accessories rather than a replacement for other devices. They don't compete with your smartwatch, your phone, or your earbuds. They simply cover a specific gap. When earbuds feel isolating or inconvenient, the glasses step in. When holding a phone isn't ideal, the glasses step in. Outside of those moments, they don't demand relevance. Meta Ray-Ban glasses, by contrast, often sit at the center of an experience, especially for users interested in capturing photos or videos. That difference in roles shapes how often and how comfortably people rely on each product in daily life. Environments also highlight this contrast. In an office or work-from-home setting, Xiaomi Smart Glasses blend in easily. Taking calls during light movement, standing meetings, or quick tasks feels natural. There's no visible indication that you're using technology beyond what looks like normal eyewear. This makes them suitable for professional settings where subtlety matters. Meta Ray-Ban glasses can be used for calls as well, but the association with recording can sometimes create hesitation in shared workspaces. Xiaomi avoids that friction entirely by design, which reinforces their everyday practicality. The same applies in public spaces. Whether it's commuting, walking through a market, or waiting in line, the glasses don't attract attention. You're not explaining what they are or answering questions unless you choose to. That low profile encourages consistent use. People are more likely to keep wearing something that doesn't make them feel self-conscious. Over time, that comfort turns into habit, and habit is what defines a truly practical device. From a long-term perspective, Xiaomi Smart Glasses feel less like a showcase of technology and more like a quiet utility. They don't try to impress you every time you put them on. Instead, they earn trust by working the same way, every day. Calls sound clear, controls respond predictably. Connectivity remains stable. Comfort stays consistent. None of these elements are exciting on their own, but together, they create a product that fits into daily life without resistance. When people say, Xiaomi Smart Glasses feel more practical than Meta Ray-Ban in daily life, they're not dismissing what Meta offers. They're describing a difference in philosophy. Meta Ray-Ban glasses focus on moments worth capturing and sharing. Xiaomi Smart Glasses focus on moments that simply need to work. For many users, especially those who value routine, comfort, and minimal interruption, that focus makes a noticeable difference. It's not about which product is more advanced, but which one stays out of the way while still being useful. And in everyday life, that balance is often what matters most. As daily use stretches into weeks rather than days, the practical nature of Xiaomi Smart Glasses becomes clearer through consistency. They don't require a learning curve that keeps resetting. The gestures, touch controls, and audio behavior remain predictable, which matters more over time than novelty. You don't find yourself double-checking how something works, or wondering if an update changed the experience. The glasses behave the same way in the morning rush as they do late at night, and that reliability quietly reinforces trust. In real life, people tend to stick with devices that don't surprise them. And this is where Xiaomi's approach shows its strength. Battery habits also shape how practical a wearable feels, even when you're not actively thinking about it. Xiaomi Smart Glasses fit naturally into daily charging routines without forcing special planning. You charge them like other small accessories, and once charged, they last through normal daily use focused on calls and audio. You're not budgeting battery around recording or media-heavy tasks, which reduces anxiety about running out of power at the wrong moment. This contrasts with usage patterns where people feel the need to conserve battery for specific features. With Xiaomi, the glasses simply stay ready for what they're designed to do. Another subtle but important factor is how these glasses age with use. Because they don't rely on flashy interactions or constant feature engagement, they don't feel outdated quickly. A phone camera improves year after year, and that can make camera-focused wearables feel dated sooner. Xiaomi Smart Glasses avoid that problem by focusing on fundamentals that don't change as fast. Clear audio, stable calls, and comfortable wear. As a result, they maintain relevance even as other tech around them evolves. That long-term usability adds to the sense that they're a practical purchase rather than a short-lived experiment. Social comfort continues to play a role here as well. Over time, people around you stop noticing the glasses entirely. Conversations stay normal. Eye contact feels unchanged. There's no sense that a device is mediating interaction. This matters in friendships, family settings, and professional relationships, where subtle cues shape comfort. Because Xiaomi Smart Glasses don't introduce visible behaviors like filming or obvious voice commands, they preserve natural interaction. That preservation of normalcy is one of the strongest indicators of practical design. Even moments of inactivity highlight this difference. When you're not listening to anything or taking calls, the glasses don't remind you that they're smart. They don't buzz, flash, or demand input. They simply function as glasses. This reduces cognitive load, which is something many people don't realize they value until it's missing. Meta Ray-Ban glasses, with their broader feature set, naturally invite more interaction. Xiaomi's restraint keeps attention where it belongs, on the environment, not the device. Over time, this creates a quiet shift in how people define usefulness. Instead of asking what the glasses can do, users focus on how often they feel helpful without being distracting. That's where Xiaomi Smart Glasses tend to stand out. They don't create standout moments for social media or memorable demos for friends. They create smooth days. And for many users, especially those who prioritize routine and ease, that's the difference that matters most. By the time you fully integrate them into daily life, it's clear that Xiaomi smart glasses aren't trying to compete on spectacle. They compete on presence. They stay with you from morning to night without demanding attention, without altering behavior, and without making you feel like you're wearing technology. That steady, almost invisible support is what gives them a practical edge in real-world use, and it explains why, for some people, they feel easier to live with day after day than more feature-forward alternatives.